Welcome to Daisy K's Primitives. My name is Christy, and this is where we talk about cross stitch. Today is Sunday, October 9th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 38. Welcome. How have you been? Hope everyone is well. I've been busy stitching and wrapping up things out in the yard and enjoying the beautiful autumn fall weather that we're having here in Missouri. I'm not a winter fan, so I am soaking up all of the nice weather that I can get as much as I can, and still stitching quite a bit. So today we have finishes, whips, works in progress, new starts. I think I've got some acquisitions here, past finishes, and I don't know. We'll see what else we get into. So let's get into it. Let's start with finishes. The first thing you might notice is the good Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. I did get him finished and I got him framed. I stitched him on 40 count weeks straw linen, and I used the called for DMC. This is by Not Forgotten Farm, and I did the little triangles around the border. I chose my own colors and stitched them however I felt, pulled out threads. The cat is supposed to be kind of like a tabby cat, but I just stitched mine all in one color. And the numbers on the year, I varied the height of how tall they were. So I think that's everything. Well, I made mistakes, terribly bad. I think that was one of the first pieces of 40 count linen that I stitched on, and it's weeks, and that's not my favorite. It's a looser weave. So I made several mistakes on him. So he's a little shorter and squattier like me. So he fits into the family well here. So that was my first finish. Let's see. What else do we have here? Also, let's go over what we have back here. This is Stacy Nash's The Good Stitching Witch, and I stitched her last year and completed her, but I didn't finish her. And I had this extra frame, and so I popped her in there. And this is Prairie Schooler's Witching Hour. I completed it last year and did not fully finish it, so I put it in an easel frame. And then this was a new start and fully finish, and this is called Black Jack Halloween Pinkeep by Country Rustic Primitives, Jenny Hoffman. And I stitched this, yeah, what was that fabric? Kind of looks like morning coffee, maybe. So I wanted to try something new. This is a primitive design, and if you go to Jenny's Etsy shop, you can see how she stitched it to finish it. And I wanted to experiment a little bit by taking a primitive design and maybe, I'm not really sure how to explain it, but kind of stitching it to look a little bit more modern, for lack of a better term. So I pretty much stuck to all the colors that she called for, except the pumpkin color here. I wanted him to look a little more variegated and faded out to kind of match this guy back here, this pumpkin head guy. He's very primitive, and he's, you know, he's kind of grungy and kind of faded out. So I was trying to get my pumpkin to look more like that. So I chose to use, should have had this out. I used to be in Color and Cotton's floss clubs, and I pulled a chimney sweep color, and it looks like grays faded out to almost like a really pale blue charcoal-y color. So that's how I stitched him. I back stitched around the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And I also added a little orange strip there in his hat, kind of like a band around the hat. And let's see, I backed it in this fabric. I don't remember who that's from. And then I used two different types of finishes that I got from Purple Paper Mountain. The first one that I use is like a chenille, an orange chenille, and so I had that. And then I had this really thin kind of glimmery. Let's see if we can see that better there. Kind of shimmers. So I just kind of intertwined the two together, kind of twisted them together, and then tacked them down to the pillow. So I really like how it turned out. I'm really, really pleased with this. Then I just took a piece of wool and tacked or pinned it on with a bulb pin, and then just stuck 2 old straight pins in there. And I really like how it turned out. So that is Blackjack Halloween Pin Keep by Jenny Hoffman. An example of how you can take any kind of pattern and make it your own, change it up, the colors, different fabrics, and different finishing styles, and you can have a whole different look. So when you see patterns, it kind of made me think about when I see different chart designs, think out of the box of how can I, that maybe is not exactly my style, but how can I make it my style? And so that was an experiment that turned out good. So in that same vein of experimenting, I wanted to try something else. So I had this pattern from Jenny Hoffman. It's Autumn Colors, and I've had it for years, and I've stitched it many different times as charted. Well, this time I used different sized, get him out of the way, Old Gold by Fiber on a Whim, and it turned out really pretty. I really like this color of linen, and I used Threadworks number 1040 floss, turned upside down. Gosh. And this is what it looks like. Really pretty fall variegated colors. Golds, burgundies, deep, kind of a deep green. So I wanted to use that to see how the variegation would turn out in the stitching, and I really, really like how that turned out. I used a kind of a deep burgundy brownish trim from Purple Paper Mountain to trim it, and backed it with this. And then this pin is, I think they call these pins brooch pens, and I just had a little squirrel charm and pinecone charm, and attached, or just put them on a little jump ring, slid them onto the pin, attached it. Now these pins are pretty thick, so you have to be pretty certain that where you were wanting to place them is where you want them to go, because they're so large, so thick, it will pierce quite a hole into your fabric. So keep that in mind as if you use them. And they're kind of heavy, and this one kept wanting to flip over and roll down, and then the charms were getting more in the way of the stitching. So right up here at the top, I just tacked it down a little bit so that it would stay upright. And so this is just another example of how you can take a primitive style design, or maybe more of a neutral design, choose different floss colors. How you finish it just changes the whole entire look of it. So that was a start and a finish. Alrighty, so we talked about Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom, Not Forgotten Farm. That's what the pattern chart cover is. Everybody's stitching it or has, so that's finished. So let's see. Let's move on to whips. Working on my black sampler wall, and in the mornings I like to try to stitch on a black sampler just a few minutes in the mornings. And my current one that I'm working on is Sarah Comfort by Queentown Sampler Designs. This is what she looks like. I am stitching her on 36 count. Get my needle out of the way. 36 count Pearl Barley by Lakeside. And this is how much more I've got done. I really like how this is turning out on this fabric. So what I am doing is I'm using, where'd they go? I'm using Weeks Gunmetal and Weeks Coal flosses. And yeah, you can really see how that's really good color right there. So as I'm stitching along, if I get to a dark spot and I think, well, I need to lighten it up, I'll just choose the gunmetal. So I'm just kind of pulling threads as I go and stitching as I go. And if I decide I want something darker, if I want a letter darker, or if I want, you know, to add a little more variegation, lighten things up, I choose the flosses as I go. And I'm liking the end result of that. So that's Sarah Comfort for my black sampler wall. Also, I put a little bit more time in on Prairie Schoolers When Witches Go Riding. I'm working on this one. And I'm stitching this one on, excuse me, it's that time of year, allergies. Oh gosh, what is this? XJU's Bunny Mom. That's right, Bunny Mom. Really a real pretty dark fabric. And this time I got, now this doesn't look like much, but there's a lot of stitching in here. That house took some time. I worked on this tree and got in some of the picket fence. And this is starting at here's the witch's feet, and this is the lower section of her dress. So that's how much more I got done there. Yeah, that's deceiving. You wouldn't think that there's a lot of stitching yet to come, but there is. So I probably won't get this done for Halloween, but I'll keep working on it. The next one as a whip that I'm almost finished. and I've kind of been focusing on this one a little bit more lately because I want to get it done, is, this is Pumpkin Harvest by Sub Rosa Designs. You can get this from her Etsy shop. Now, I've altered mine a little bit because I want to place it in this frame. This is just a frame that I got from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, I think, and it was just a plain wood frame that I painted and distressed and then waxed to kind of darken up the edges. So, because I want it to fit in that frame, I'm having to omit this side of the piece. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count Creme Brulee by Tabby Cat. And I really love how that fabric looks. I really love how this is stitching up. I'm almost complete. Just have the lower section corner of the house and bring the grass over a little bit more. And this will be done. And I love this. I just think it is so pretty on this fabric. It's just perfect for it. So the pumpkins in here where you see the lighter spaces are supposed to be stitched. I'm not doing that. I'm leaving that empty because I kind of like the dimension that that gives. Oh, and I need to finish the star up here. But almost done with that one. Next time you see us, this should be finished. So that was another WIP progress. Trying to keep track of my time. Last time we almost made it to 40 minutes, which was nice. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people commented that they liked the longer videos. So I'm using the same setup this time, and hopefully we can keep doing this. All right, so let's talk about acquisitions. So I was thinking, and I've seen several of these done up, but I was thinking for Halloween it would be kind of cool to do maybe a grouping of these tombstone angels. And I went and purchased Prudence Welcome from Carriage House Samplings. I won't get started on these this year, maybe next year. Carolina Handley by Carriage House Samplings. And Sarah Hook, 1824 by Carriage House Samplings. I really like this one. I just thought it would be cute to make, you know, a grouping of these. I'm trying to accumulate some other smaller, maybe like that I could finish them like a stand-up that could, you know, sit in amongst these that are, if they're framed, if I can frame them. I don't remember how large they are. That could be manageable to be like a stand-up frame. And oh yeah, this one too. They won't be too big. They'd be nice framed pieces. So I think those would look good together. And if I can find some more smaller ones to finish as stand-ups, that would be a really cute Halloween display for stitching. So that was some acquisitions. Some is the keyword. We're not going with all. Okay, I'll show you some past Halloween finishes. I think this, no, I shared this last year. Sorry, wiggling the table. I believe this is a Pinterest freebie, and I I don't know what it's called, but I stitched this up, I don't remember when, a while. But it's just a little Halloween with the owls sitting on a branch. And I just backed it with homespun check and used a black bulb pen and some of my grandma's button stash. Cute and simple. My Prairie Schoolers, and I don't remember which ones these are, but I've got them displayed in my old bowl. There's the witch, the jack-o'-lantern, and the cat. I love these vintage looking cats. I mean, that's what Halloween was to me when I was like 5, 6, and on up. My mother used to have a bunch of these cardboard cutout things that she would hang on the windows. And there was a witch and a scarecrow and a cat, and also the cats that were jointed. They were hooked together, and the tail would move, and you could position their legs. That just reminds me of Halloween as a little bitty kid, when I was first getting into Halloween and thinking it was fun to dress up and getting all excited. So I would like to stitch some more of these scaredy cat, Halloween cat things. But so those were past finishes, and I finished these on, I stitched them on a piece. Gosh, now that's not, I don't remember what I stitched these on. I did talk about these last year around this time of the year in my past videos, if you want to know the details about this. But I'm sure I just used the called for DMC. The linen, I don't recall. That's probably Fiber on a Whim, but I can't remember the name. And then I just took jute and tacked the jute on, tied it in a bow at the top, and a couple of these I added a kitty cat charm. Gotta get the phone. All right, we're back. These are a couple of my really favorite autumn fall pillows that I have ever stitched. I really love this one. I'm not for sure what these are called. Cornstalk Manor may be this one. These are both by Lori Rippey of Homespun Prims by Lori. But I just love these. I stitched these on, this looks like it might have been Vintage Country Mocha, 32 or 36 count. I love it. I love salt box houses. I love the pumpkin field over here and this tree. It's just, I just really think that is just such a sweet design. This one I love because I love the combination of the orange and this olivey gold and the tealy blue. I don't know what color that is. I just love it. So these are a couple of my favorite past pillow finishes. You've seen those a couple of times. So that's all I have for finishes. Now, let's talk about, okay, let's talk about this. I succumbed to the temptation. And let me show you what it was. Don't judge me. I can help it. I had to do this one. This is Jingle Bells by Brenda Gervais. This is the time of year where I really get charged up about Christmas, stitching and decorating, and planning out what I want to stitch and wanting to stitch it all, and what I want to, how I want to decorate, what themes I want to use on what trees and such. But this one has just been calling to me out of the pattern box. I can hear him just calling and I just couldn't leave him anymore in there, so he got started. I love this. So I pulled out a piece of what? 36 count paper bark by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm kind of using my own floss colors because I did not have all of them that are charted, and I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait to order them. So I believe this green in the tree is tarragon, and I think that's Weeks. And I'm using Ruby Slipper. It's supposed to be a Valdani, and I don't have any of that. But anyway, I got started. This is his belt, his arm. I got a mitten done, starting on the mitten, but I just had to. I had to, so I want to get started now so that I can get a few things finished up when I get started decorating so that I have them. So that was a new start. So new start plans. Sorry, I've got stuff everywhere. My November sampler start. So take a guess. I'll just give you just a few minutes here. Not even a few minutes, but take some time and see if you can guess what I might start for my November Thanksgiving time sampler. Did you guess Thankful, Grateful, Blessed by Brenda Gervais? If you did, ding, 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 you were correct. This will be my November sampler start. I can't wait to get going on it. So many of you are just such enablers on Instagram and Facebook and Flosstube. So I had to give in to this temptation also. So I pulled out a piece of needle and flax Hemingway 36 count. This is beautiful linen. Oh my goodness. I wish, look at the modeling in that. That's just gorgeous. So pull that, and I have the charted flosses, and I think this is just going to be a great combination. I can't wait to get started on that. Let's see if I can wait until November 1st to start it. Look at that. So that's a future plan. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So everybody, that's all I have. Can't think of anything else to talk about. I don't know that this made it past 30 minutes, but at least you got to see some stitching, see what I'm up to and where I'm headed, and catch up just for a few minutes. So hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I don't know whether, who knows how long it'll be, but anyway. Y'all take care. Thank you so much for always watching and always commenting. I really enjoy connecting with all of you through the comments and Instagram. Thanks for the encouragement and the support and your kindness. And everybody take care, and I will see you next time. My little Halloween display. We'll go through this a little bit as we go. This is Stacy Nash's The Good Stitching Witch. These are Prairie Schooler. This little pillow tuck is the Blackjack Halloween tuck from Country Rustic. Prairie Schooler Witching Hour. And Not Forgotten Farms. Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom.